Hello everyone, welcome back to Read Version Talk. This is Geeti and I talk to you about books, movies and sometimes just randomly about life. So here I have with me today Aman, my friend, and we are going to do a casual discussion about a film named,
Kesari 2.
and let's see how it goes. We watched the film yesterday and for a fact, I loved the film. How did you like?
It was like beyond my imagination. We didn't expect it to be such a good film, and I would say that it met the expectations of audiences. I mean, Kesari, the part one of Kesari, was something a part of history which was unknown to people, and this as well. We know about Jallianwala Bagh incident,
Yeah.
but what happened after it? What were the consequences which followed it? And how the General Dyer, how he was prosecuted, how he was removed from his service, that part needed a light, which Kesari 2 provides.
So there are other films as well as for example, Sardar Udham. We saw it. Vicky Kaushal did an amazing role there as well, and he shot dead that governor, I guess. No? Yeah, so he probably shot dead that governor of that time. But what about Kesari 2? Why I like the film is majorly not because of the performances. So the performances were definitely too good, but why I personally felt the film was really, really a great source of inspiration for people is because it talks about the portion, the part of history which was not ever spoken about. What is your view on that?
I mean, it's correct. I mean, this part of history was, I would believe, always neglected. And under the so called influence of colonialism, under the white dominance, I guess this part of history during that time was never highlighted as well. And that's one of the main reasons why we are always taught about the Jallianwala Bagh incident, but not about what followed in our school books or in our, our college days, university days. We are never talked about it. We never talk about it. We are never taught that there were real men, there were real women who fought this battle, and not just the white colonial, supremacy.
Why have we been hidden from such informations, such details of history, such important events? It's been 106 years, and yet our history books have not found the space and time to include these details. Why do you think so?
I would say it would never find its way to our textbooks as well, because this part of history is something which these people consider to be neglected. I mean, Jallianwala Bagh as an incident holds that weight in our history, which is taught to students in a way that okay, there were white people, there was colonialism during that time back then, and these colonizers, they opened fire on people. But what happened, why it happened, why there was an open fire, that General Dyer, who himself was suffering from a psychological trauma or whatsoever it is, such in-depth analysis, I would say, is not possible, and they wouldn't even try to attempt an analysis of this that way in our school textbooks or university college days and all. So I am like proud of Bollywood that it has taken this initiative to, I mean, use history as a tool to inform people, to, I mean, literate people about the incident that happened and what followed after it.
Do you think a lot of it is also about offending the West?
Definitely it does, because often we see that education or something is considered like the white man's duty. So when the history was being written back then, deliberately such incidents were not included in it. As we watched in the film as well, there was a ban on the press, there was ban on free speech, the press was not allowed inside the courtroom as well. So how can we expect the exact truth to be revealed? I believe that what was shown in the film as well, it is 90% of it, because of course movies need to include certain fictional details as well to gain the audience, to gain the box office hits and all. But there is still a lot of history which is neglected, and that can only be uncovered by talking out to people, families who actually face this incident, and not just.
I think for that reason, a lot of documentaries are also there in today's world. Like for example, while we were studying partition literature, we heard, saw interacted with a lot of these kind of documentaries. But do you see somewhere that even on these documentaries there's a vital effect of the dominance of the West, and even till today? Like for example, neo-colonialism, if you take neo-colonialism as an example, we are still not over our colonial past, and that hangover, the colonial hangover that we say, it's still there. But having said that, the films like Kesari Chapter 2, films like Sardar Udham, and many more such films which like gives so much information to the audience who are for the major part have no idea what these were about. Who was Sardar Udham actually? They had no idea about. To my next question, which goes like about Shankar Nair. So he is also the man who we have never learnt of in history. We have no idea. Initially he was a British pleaser, and later he turns himself into one of those patriotic figures. But yet again he was real, and we never heard of him. That was a little strange for me. For example, he's done such a big thing against the British, and here we are, stupid Indians, no idea about who this man is before going to watch the film. What did you think was Shankaran?
Shankaran was an unexpected reversal. I mean, his character as an breakthrough figure was important in history, because Britishers never expected that someone who was their slave, who was their dog, would ever betray them. Initially, as you know in the film, Shankaran was seen as a part of the Viceroy's commission, and his duty was initially to protect the Britishers from unwanted uprisings against them. But when he himself realized what had happened actually, so that is the moment when it was like, we call it an epiphany, the moment of realization. So that was the moment when Shankaran in the film, and of course in the real life, he did realize that what he was doing was wrong. I mean, it was like a initial betrayal to his very own people.
So my huge salute to this man called Shankar Nair. He was a real person, and the more and more I try to digest the fact that he was a real man and we never knew of him, it makes me sad from inside.
I mean, that's because we were never taught of him.
That's the whole point. That's why in the beginning I said that why do you think that our history books do not consider taking in such information? For example, instead of learning about what happened in West, what happened in America, about American civilization and all of that, I think it's important. It's of course important, but more and more people should be aware of what is happening in our country, what has happened in our country, and what gave us all of these new felt titles called independence, freedom, on all of that. So
I mean, it wasn't actually an independence struggle, but it led to the independence struggle.
all of these incidents are struggles in one form or the other, which led to the independence.
I mean, like they were protesting against the Roll attack in Jallianwala Bagh, and that too a festive season.
Baishakhi.
Exactly.
The exact time that we are living in right now.
Exactly. I mean,
106 years back.
I mean, no one expected, and that too how people, I mean, these white people, they blamed the Indians that they were as terrorists.
To take in such a woman lawyer, like this is a big step towards, these are small steps that Bollywood or any such films are taking towards women's liberation, towards a little feminist stance. So what is your view on that?
I just remember one dialogue of hers when he was an Indian lawyer who was initially representing the Britishers. So he said that एक लड़की मर्दों के बीच में क्या कर पाएगी? Actually,
Why
crossed out.
doesn't your England have queens?
Exactly. This space is not about establishing women as the queen, but it is like women supporting what is right.
Women supporting what is right, and also the fact that we keep calling our country Mother India. So the mother coming in herself for protection is very important for people to believe. Anyway, so a lot about that. But thanks to the makers for including such a good perspective. The feminist stance, as we said. Film is almost like a political critique of not just colonizers, but the present as well. How do you think that matches with the situation in West Bengal right now? Okay, that's fine. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and
Hit the bell icon.
also hit the bell icon. This is first of my collaboration videos. So yeah, thank you so much. Love, tata, bye bye.